What started out as a picture-perfect wedding ended in a horrifying tragedy. A jealous man shot and killed his ex-girlfriend on her wedding day, right in front of her family and friends. No one suspected that such a respected man could ever commit such a disturbing crime. It shocked and devastated an entire community. What led this man to kill his ex-girlfriend, and why didn't anyone see it coming? In 1979, in Tamboril, Dominican Republic, Gladys Ricart, a 19-year-old single mother, worked hard to create a better life for herself and her son. She dreamed of living with her sister, Norma Rosario, in the United States. Once she saved up enough money, she moved to the US to live with her sister's family in Manhattan, New York City. However, she had to leave her 4-year-old son Davis behind with family until she could afford to move him to the States as well. Gladys arrived in the US in 1983 and immediately started learning English and got a job to save up money for her son. After 4 long years, Gladys could finally afford to have Davis brought to the United States. Not long after that, Gladys finished college with a master's degree in economics. After graduation, Gladys pursued a career in accounting and worked her way up to a supervisor position for a travel agency in Midtown Manhattan. Everything was going amazingly well for Gladys. She had almost everything she wanted, a successful life with her son in the States. Life couldn't be better. However, an unexpected encounter would cause Gladys's world to spiral out of control, resulting in devastating consequences. By 1992, Gladys had lived in the States for 9 years. She took the subway to work and back home to her sister's house every day. One day, Gladys caught the eye of one of the Dominican community's heroes, 40-year-old Agustin Garcia. Like Gladys, Agustin moved to the States from the Dominican Republic when he was young. From the ground up, he pulled himself out of poverty and became a highly successful entrepreneur, owning multiple small businesses. He was also the father of 2 children he had from a previous marriage. Both kids lived with him in North Bergen, New Jersey. Even though he created a highly successful life for himself, Agustin never forgot his roots. He spent a lot of time helping other members of the Dominican Republic community in the Washington Heights area through various community service programs as the executive director of the Dominican Chamber of Commerce in New York and the director of the Associates Dominicanos Service Group. Agustin also founded the Federation of Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. To further assist the community, Agustin was in the process of setting up more daycares and business schools. Needless to say, Agustin was a highly respected man and considered quite a catch. Some of the qualities that made Agustin so charming is his charismatic and outgoing personality. By pure coincidence, Agustin, who is not a regular subway rider, happened to be traveling at the same time on the same subway and sitting in the same car as Gladys. After noticing Gladys and taking in all her beauty, he immediately made his way over to meet her. The two hit it off and spent the rest of the ride lost in conversation. Wanting to spend more time together, they exchanged numbers and made plans to meet in the near future. It wasn't long before Gladys and Agustin became an item. He enjoyed treating her to fancy dinners and showering her with gifts. Gladys's family was very happy for her and believed Agustin was her perfect match. After dating for a year, Agustin felt ready to take their relationship to the next level and asked Gladys to live with him. Gladys happily accepted his offer and moved her and Davis into the Garcia home. Deep down, Gladys wished he'd proposed to her. She wanted what she considered a complete family, a husband and wife working together to raise their children. As Gladys turned 33, she started to feel like her dream of having more children was slipping away. Now that they were living together, Gladys believed this was a step closer to having her dreams come true. Sadly, this choice would become one of many that led to a devastating result. An outcome no one saw coming but watched in horror as the nightmare played out right before their eyes. Not long after moving into Agustin's home, problems came up between Davis and Agustin's 2 children. Gladys encouraged Davis to do his best to get along with them, hoping the children needed time to adjust. But the situation only worsened as time went on. To make matters worse, Gladys began to notice Agustin's dismissive and uncaring behavior toward her son. After 2 years of living in a tense household, Gladys told Agustin that living under one roof was not working, so he helped her find a home nearby. Gladys found a lovely 2-story house for her and Davis in Ridgefield, New Jersey, located a short 9-minute drive from Agustin's home. Living close but in separate houses appeared to solve their problems, and Agustin and Gladys continued their relationship. By now, Gladys's family was treating Agustin like he was a member of the family. Wherever they went, Agustin proudly introduced Gladys as his wife. Eventually, the whole Hispanic community viewed them as the perfect married couple. Still, they were not legally married. No matter how much Gladys wanted to marry, Agustin did not, using his previously failed marriage as his reason. As time went on, friends and family noticed Gladys's happiness fading away. Eventually, they discovered Gladys was struggling with more than Agustin not wanting to marry. A few years into their relationship, Gladys discovered Agustin was a player. During their relationship, he had had multiple affairs. As if having an unfaithful partner wasn't bad enough, that wasn't the only issue she had with their relationship. Behind closed doors, Agustin's behavior towards Gladys had become controlling. During one of their fights, Agustin's anger spiraled out of control to the point he pulled a gun out to threaten her. Realizing this, Gladys ran for the bathroom and locked the door. For a while, Gladys allowed her fear of Agustin to control her life. However, in the autumn of 1998, he would send her over the edge and she would finally put an end to their relationship. One night, Gladys went to meet Agustin at his office. When she arrived, she found him with another woman, a much younger woman. At that moment, Gladys decided enough was enough and she told Agustin it was over. Gladys informed her family of what had happened, so they knew Agustin was no longer a welcome friend of the family. Though she ended their relationship, Agustin was not ready to let her go. He viewed Gladys as a piece of property that he owned for the past 7 years, and Agustin was not about to let his trophy wife go so easily. Agustin called Gladys repeatedly and even left presents at her doorstep: red roses, white roses, and even a Bible. Gladys blew this off as pitiful attempts to win her back, but her family saw them as odd symbolic gifts with hidden meanings. By the time winter turned to spring, Gladys felt like a new woman, ready to take on the world once again. During one of her lunch breaks at a restaurant near her work, Gladys met the handsome and multi-talented James Preston Jr. Like Gladys, James worked in the field of accounting, but he also had a side gig as a musician. The two fell in love at first sight. After a couple of dates, they made their relationship official. During the next 2 months, Gladys and James spent a lot of time together, and Gladys's family agreed it was the happiest they had ever seen her. James was a true gentleman, treating Gladys like a queen. After a short dating period, Gladys and James decided to get married, scheduling the date for Sunday, September 26, 1999. The couple's families were ecstatic about the news. James and Gladys started planning their wedding, something she had looked forward to doing for many years. Their wedding invitations read, "This day I will marry the one who loves me without end, the one who brightens my life and gives love a new meaning, the one who shares my dreams." Gladys was so preoccupied with her wedding that she hadn't noticed Agustin stalking her house. Almost nightly, he would drive by her home or park across the street and watch her for hours. He refused to let her go. On Thursday evening, August the 12th, 6 weeks before the big day, Gladys and James were enjoying a quiet romantic evening alone in her home. However, their date night came to a sudden end when Agustin showed up at her door. In a gentle voice, he asked Gladys to let him come in so they could talk, but she refused. Agustin's calm demeanor made a quick 180 and he became angry and violent. He screamed at her to let him in, and he threw rocks at her windows. Afraid of what Agustin might do next, Gladys rushed to the phone and called 911.
What is your emergency?
I have a gentleman here trying to break my window.
You know this person?
Well, he used to be my ex-boyfriend. I finished with him about 3 months ago, and he's breaking my window because I don't want to open the door.
He's outside now?
Yes.
Okay.
He's breaking my window.
All right, we'll send somebody right up.
Hurry up because I'm afraid of him.
The police arrived and restrained Agustin. Gladys decided not to press charges. Gladys did not want to cause trouble for Agustin. She just wanted to focus on her wedding and forget about what happened. Sadly, this was a deadly mistake. Wedding day had finally arrived. That morning, Gladys's friends and family were at her house getting dressed and preparing for the ceremony, scheduled for 4 p.m. Photographers and videographers were present, ensuring Gladys captured every moment of her big day. A Rolls-Royce and 2 stretch limousines were parked outside Gladys's home to take everyone to a nearby church in Queens. While Gladys was distracted with wedding photos, family outside the home happened to spot Agustin driving by multiple times. Unfortunately, no one knew how he had spent the past few weeks stalking her or the gravity of the situation that had developed. To avoid causing Gladys any unnecessary stress, her family chose not to tell her he was lurking outside. After making a few passes, Agustin parked his SUV across the street, then headed toward the door carrying his briefcase. During this time, Gladys was in her living room, passing out flowers to her bridesmaids. Gladys's brother Juan happened to be outside and noticed Agustin approaching the house. Juan knew Agustin shouldn't be there, so he approached politely to find out what he wanted. Agustin said he was invited and calmly walked toward the house, with Juan following close behind. After entering the home, Agustin saw Gladys beautifully dressed in her tiara and wedding gown. He did not look at the bridesmaids and flower girls who also stood in the room. With a quick glance in his direction, Gladys ignored Agustin and continued to hand out bouquets and pose with her bridesmaids. As she reached for another bouquet, all hell broke loose. Gladys turned to see a gun aimed directly at her. This all happened in a matter of seconds. No one had a chance to respond. He fired off 2 shots before Juan tackled him to the ground. Unfortunately, Agustin got up, slipped away from Juan, and continued unloading his gun on Gladys. All the wedding guests ran as quickly as they could outside. The family called 911.
Hello, 911. There's been a shooting. Ridgefield. Ambulance. Is anybody hit? Yes. Okay. A man with a shot of gas.
Inside, Juan finally was able to take the gun from Agustin before he had a chance to reload. Juan fought to keep Agustin pinned to the ground. He wouldn't stop trying to get back his gun, screaming he wanted to kill himself. In a matter of minutes, the police arrived. They entered the home and found the 2 men fighting in the kitchen. Quickly, the police stepped in and took control over the situation, handcuffing both Juan and Agustin until they could figure out what was going on. By the time police were able to check on Gladys, she was gone. 3 bullets had pierced her body, 1 in her upper arm, 1 in her spine, and 1 through her head. There was nothing anyone could have done to save her. Agustin was arrested on the spot. Meanwhile, James was standing at the church excitedly waiting for the arrival of his bride-to-be. But an unexpected call would soon shatter his world, leaving him devastated beyond repair. The white dresses, flowers, and decorations meant to symbolize unity and new beginnings had transformed into symbols of mourning and death. With a house full of eyewitnesses, a videotape of the murder, and the killer's confession, it was a clear-cut case. Yet as court cases tend to go, there are loopholes to get out of almost anything. And Agustin's team of attorneys believed they had found theirs.